Welcome to the Luke and Connor podcast, featuring Luke Charlier, that's me, and Connor Miller, my best buddy.
That's me.
Yeah, no one cares. Okay, today we are talking about the illustrious MF Doom, rest in peace, one of the greatest rappers of all time, and who recently passed away. We just thought it would be in our best interest to talk about him and all of his albums that we just post.
Bro,
That way you can get some more
move your
context.
thingy around.
Oh shit. Oops. Keep that in, honestly. It's a cool awkward moment. Okay. So we're talking about his discography we covered on our page. So that's not going to include like instrumental albums and some of his collab albums
Yeah.
because he has a ton of albums. That's why he's one of the GOATs. He just works with anybody. He brings out the best in everybody, including the best of the best, Madlib. He brought the best out of Madlib, which is kind of insane. They were an insane duo, but we'll talk about that album later. We're going to start it off with Operation Doomsday, his debut album, took the world by storm. Do you have anything to say, Connor?
This is the first album by MF Doom that I really listened to and just really made me like him as artist. It's like a little baby version of Food, but yeah, it just made me like him at first, and it's got great production. He doesn't really sound like a villain. He's more like cartoony and animated, but it's still really good.
Yeah, I would say this is like Doom's least abstract album, I guess. It's more like his most mainstream and accessible because it's more like 90s hip hop more than like his weird brand of like sample hip hop, I guess.
Yeah.
I think like to build on to the production thing, it has like I guess iconic production. Like the beats on this, like Doomsday and Rhymes Like Dimes, are just like iconic beats that like everybody knows, even if they don't even know who MF Doom is, just because of how good those beats are. You hear it on TikTok and everything. I just think that this album, it's a class. Like it's definitely flawed. There's a lot of flaws to it. I like, for instance, the song "The Mic" I do not like at all, but um it's definitely a classic just because of its iconic status and just it just brings it introduced us to the character of MF Doom, who we all know is one of the best rappers. It's not his best album, but it's certainly one that you should check out if you're interested in MF Doom.
I agree. What'd you rank this one?
I gave it a 9.3 out of 10. What did you give it?
A 9.5 out of 10.
My top song, Rhymes Like Dimes, second place, Doomsday, 3. Hey!
Yeah, my top song's Doomsday, second is Operation Greenbacks, and third is Rhymes Like Dimes. When you said Rhymes Like Dimes, bro, the beat just started playing in my head earlier.
I know, it's just like the beat is amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, next one we're talking about is Take Me to Your Leader by King Ghidorah. This is his one and only album under the King Ghidorah name. He takes kind of a back seat on this just because he's not rapping as much as he usually does on his albums. He's more focused on production and atmosphere. There's a lot of like interludes that are just instrumentals with like talking over it.
Yeah.
I think King Ghidorah is one of my favorite like characters he goes under just because I like Godzilla and I just think it's cool that he's King Ghidorah and there's like the three-headed monster with the three different rappers. It's pretty interesting. And I just like the kind of cartoon plus monster vibe to it. It's pretty cool. I think my favorite song on it would have to be Phasers just because of Doom's amazing like rapping on that. His delivery is unstoppable, the beat's amazing. But for a favorite instrumental, it would actually be Fast Lane, which is kind of like a instrumental you hear on Food because of the guitar riff. It's addicting and I just couldn't stop listening to it the first time I heard it just because of how good the beat is.
I agree. It's a really unique concept. Phasers is also my top song. At points it gets kind of repetitive, like on Antimatter. It's one of my least favorite songs, but yeah, he does really good lyrically, and he has a lot of features. But even when like there's other rappers on this, you still know that this is a Doom project just because of he still just outshines everyone.
Yeah, I think this is probably like his most underrated and like looked over project. I gave it a 9.2, which we kind of disagreed on the score with this because I think you gave it like an 8 or
Yeah,
something.
I gave it an 8.4.
Oh, the next one we disagreed on even more though, which is Vaudeville Villain by Victor Vaughn, which is another album in the same year under a different name. This one is kind of like, I would say it's like like the prelude to Mad Villainy just because of the concept. It's like kind of the jazzy villain, and it's one of his most experimental albums with interesting samples on the song Radon and A Modern Mugging and Lactose and Lecithin. I think that's how you say that, because they have like these spacey sounding songs that are really kind of weird and kind of hard to digest. But once I got used to it, I was like, damn, this is fire as fuck. Um, I think this is kind of Doom's peak rap wise. He is amazing. He has amazing rhyme schemes. Just he has an energy that is unstoppable. His flow is great. This is just peak Doom in my opinion. It's not his best album, but rapping wise, it's the best. It's some of the best he's ever been. I like the Victor Vaughn character because it's like kind of a more like I guess like idiot version of like MF Doom. He's just kind of stupid. He makes an appearance on Mad Villainy on Fancy Clown, and you can also kind of see that.
Yeah.
My favorite track on this is Can I Wash? It's an amazing storytelling track about um I forget what it's about. Let me find. It's like about this like he like gets romantically involved with this lady and he like it's like his cousin's friend of friend and then he keeps going farther and farther and she's like, "Bruh, you're fat. I don't like you." And it's just funny and she just roasts him at the end. It's a great feature by the feature rapper, and the like there's like brass samples on this that I like a lot. It's just one of his jazziest. It's loudest, not loud, but like what I mean, like it's one of his like most exciting albums, I guess. And I just think it's one of his best. That was pretty repetitive. Okay, Connor, what do you have to say?
So this album, like skill wise, he did good. What really holds it back for me is it just doesn't have as much like personality, where it like as his other albums under like I mean he's under the Victor Vaughn name, so it makes sense why he wouldn't be like as cartoony and like doing the same things as he would as on Food and Operation Doomsday, but yeah, he still is really talented on this album. Honestly, I should have given it like a 8.1 or something. I kind of gave it too low of a score now that I've listened to it more, but yeah, it's not one of his best, but it's definitely not bad.
Yeah, I kind of disagree. I think I gave it a 9.5. So I think over time it'll maybe grow on you, but we'll see. It's one of his cooler ones. I think it's one of his most diverse as well.
Yeah, I gave it a 8 point, or I gave it a 7.8, but it's more like a 8.1.
Okay, now we're moving on to the big dog, his best, the one that everybody should listen to, even if you don't even like rap. Mad Villainy. It is probably one of the best hip hop albums ever created.
One of my favorite albums.
Yeah, there's nothing, basically nothing wrong with this album.
Yep.
The production from Madlib and Doom, just it's on point. There's no misses here. It's his best. And Food's it's pretty close, but it's I think it's his best. The atmosphere on this album is amazing. I think I just associate it with coffee shops and of course cartoons, but the coffee shop thing comes from the story. I was in Salt Lake City a couple years ago. It was before I was like super into hip hop, and I heard they're playing all caps and then Raid, and I heard the songs, and I said like, "Hey Siri, what song is this?" Because I really dig the song, and it told me the song. I was like, "Okay, I gotta check this out." When I get back to the hotel, and I listened to the entirety of Mad Villainy. When I got back to the hotel, I was like, "Damn, this song! I mean, this album's fire." And now it's one of my favorite albums of all time. It's just an amazing album. Technical rapping wise, Doom's probably at his very best on Curls, uh, Meat Grinder. Just every song, his rhyme schemes are just
Yeah, literally
unstoppable.
every song, bro.
Yeah, I know, except for the instrumental tracks, of course. But
Yeah.
the song, interesting. I think what makes this album so great is the songs aren't that long. They're like all like under 3 minutes. There's a couple that go over, but barely, and that kind of just it lets like the looping beat don't it doesn't get old, and then it makes for MF Doom to pack as many rhymes in his short span, so it just sounds so unique and just like off the wall as possible. So that, and they can also fit more beats into a small space. There's like 24 songs in this, but it's still under an hour long. It's insane. And then I think my favorite part is just the influence it takes from cartoons because I love superhero cartoons growing up. It was probably the thing I watched the most, especially old ones because my dad always would turn on like the old Spider-Man, and the sound from this album sound exactly from like the old Spider-Man, like all caps. One of my favorite songs of all times just sounds like it's straight from like a 50s cartoon, and I love it so much. Okay, Connor, I'll give it to you now.
Yeah, this album, they're just Madlib and MF Doom are both at the peak of their careers. This is my favorite album from both of them, and they're like Luke said, the songs are short and it made it so hard to rank, but
Yeah,
it's a 10, so any 10 is hard to rank, but yeah, I love every song on this album. Oh yeah, I gave it a 10. Okay.
yeah, we both gave it tens, and we both have like the same top three, which is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, my microphone unplugged, so we had to take a quick break there. But we're back, and I'm pretty sure I said our top three songs are all caps, Fancy Clown, and Accordion. I said, if you haven't checked those out, you definitely should. You'll understand why this album's so hyped. And there's no misses on this. There's 21 actual songs on this, and all of them are amazing. The instrumentals are also really great. Uh, super villain theme, Sick Fit, and what's the last one?
I
Do
think
Not
Do Not
Fire.
Fire. Yeah,
Yeah, they're all really great. I really dig Supervillain theme. The drums on that song are insane.
me
And then
too.
Sick Fit, MF Doom said, "This beat is too good to rap over." So I think that kind of speaks for itself.
Yeah.
One of the best rappers of all time saying this beat is too good to rap over it, where he literally raps over the weirdest beats I've ever heard. Okay, let's move on to Food, which that's just insane that Mad Villainy and Food dropped in the same year. Let's just say that right off the bat.
Yeah.
These are two top tier rap albums dropping within 12 months of each other. You're never going to see that again, I don't think. But let's just talk about Food real quick. I'll let you start this time.
This album is just the peak of Doom's personal production, not including Madlib. This album is just like I feel like a little kid just watching cartoons, eating cereal, and he's just so creative on this album with like so many food references and just tying every single song back into food. It's amazing.
Yeah, I said, okay,
What
I
did you
think,
say, Luke?
boy, shut yo dumbass up. Like, I have to agree, the concept is executed perfectly, and it's a good concept too. You can execute a terrible concept perfectly, and it's still not good. But this is a cool concept. It's about food. Every song is about food, named after food, and he like ties it into the rap game, into his villain like name, and just it's cool. Beef Rap, the opening track. If that song is probably one of the best opening tracks of all time. It's just the most badass song I've ever heard. I just couldn't stop listening to it the last like week because I've listened to all of Doom's discography and I was sleeping on this song for some reason because I was like, oh no, the intro's too long. And then I was like, holy shit, I will listen to this intro 15 times just so I can hear the actual song. It's amazing. And I just love this is similar to Mad Villainy. I love how it takes so much influence from cartoons. It makes me feel like a little kid, like Connor said. And it also, just like Operation Doomsday, which I think these, like you said, it's like its older brother. Food is Operation Doomsday's older brother.
Yeah.
Um, it hosts some of the most iconic hip hop beats of all time. One Beer, which has been reused for Odd Toddlers for Tyler the Creator, and I hear One Beer all the time on TikTok. Rapsnick Knishes.
Rap
Is that how you say it, or
snitch,
Nishes?
rap snitch niches.
I'm so stupid, bruh. Uh, that is obviously the most iconic beat off this album, at least right now. I think once time goes by, Hoe Cakes and One Beer will kind of take the number one and two spots because Hoe Cakes is really interesting because it has like the beatboxing for the drums. I mean, there's still actual drums, but they're not as loud, and it's just an addicting beat because of that beatboxing. You'll be like, "Oh no, fart song," and then you're like, "This is the best song I've ever heard."
Yeah, I
The
agree.
Also, Con Carne has really cool production with like the laser sound effects. So there's interesting and unique production on this that wasn't really on Mad Villainy. Mad Villainy was just like the sample-based production refined to its purest form, while this experiments a little bit more, but it doesn't go like too far where it's weird. Well, it's weird, but like not weird in a bad way. I would say this is probably one of Doom's most fun albums,
Yeah,
but all of his albums are fun. You might be like, but they're boring because he doesn't. I'm like, just get a life, man. These are really fun albums.
yeah.
Okay,
I think his most creative album for sure.
yeah. Next album, Mouse in the Mask. Not gonna lie, I don't have a lot to say about this. Do you?
Yeah, this album, he's got the annoying ass voice at the end of every single song, and I just
Yeah,
don't
the
like
Aqua
it.
Teen Hunger Force.
Yeah, bro, it reminds me of Logic skits, and that's not good.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you. I don't think those skits. It kind of reminds me of like the Beavis and Butthead skits from that one Kid Cudi album that no one likes. I think that cartoon, like some cartoons, should not be mixed with hip hop. Beavis and Butthead and Aqua Teen Hunger Force should not be mixed with hip hop, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's got there's some good beats on this, but overall, I think it's kind of weird production that doesn't really fit Doom as well as his own production would. And I know this album's not meant to be taken seriously, but Doom also has like some good bars on this, so it kind of conflicts with that. And yeah, there's this one song. Which one is it? It's it's not on this album. Never mind.
Um, I
Oh wait, no,
think
it is. Number 4,
oh,
Vats of Urine. It's literally just about piss, and it's great. It's my
that's
number
MF
4
Doom.
song. Yeah.
It's my number five. MF Doom can rap about a little piss and it'll be good.
Yeah.
I think the production on this is pretty good, but it's kind of hit or miss. It can get pretty boring at times. But when it's like brass, when it's based off like trumpets and stuff, it sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
I think the features on this album is one of its biggest strengths. There's really no misses feature-wise, which is kind of rare to see in an MF Doom project, I guess. Actually, that's not true at all. I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah. I don't know what you're
But
saying.
the features are cool and good rhymes as usual. It's a run-of-the-mill MF Doom project, not bad, but he's certainly made better, and this is kind of a disappointment, I guess, following up Mad Villainy and Food coming out in the same year. But at least he got to have a smaller producer in the limelight. Okay, next is Born Like This, MF Doom's final album
Bruh,
under his what?
what did you rank it?
Oh, I forgot about that. Didn't I give it like a 7.4?
Yeah, gave it 7.3.
Okay. Now let's go to Born Like This. It's MF Doom's final album under his MF Doom name.
Actually, it's under his Doom name.
Oh yeah. Oh, actually, it's not his final album under his MF Doom name. It's his final solo album under
Yeah.
his MF Doom name. And what I gotta say about this is it's some of Doom's most impressive technical rapping ever. He kind of does show off a lot in this album, and like That's That, Gazillion Ear, songs like those just prove how amazing of a rapper he is. Even though that there is some misses on this album is still super solid, and I think it does get overhated just because it came after two great albums.
Yeah. You know how I said food makes you feel like just a little kid watching cartoons?
Yeah,
This album just makes you feel like you're just the villain, and he's just
yeah,
like at his most evil like self, and he
yeah,
knows
definitely.
how much skill he really has, and he just like proves it to everyone on this album basically.
Something that I definitely want to say is MF Doom and Ghostface Killah. It's a shame that we never saw an entire album between them because they work with each other so well. They're both nerdy people that base their albums around superheroes, and Ghostface Killah is like Iron Man, and he's Metal Face. They should have had like a collab album. That would have been so cool. The collab tracks that they have on this album and The Mouse and the Mask are really good, and it just makes me sad that they never got a full album. So, Rip Doom, man, we'll miss him. And another thing I have to say about this album, though it has amazing tracks like That's That and Gazillion Ear, like I mentioned earlier, it also probably has MF Doom's worst song, Super Villains. I, I don't get it. It sounds like TikTok edits, bro. It is so bad. Like it's like I'm a villain. Like that's not even a joke. That's literally how the song sounds.
Isn't it the
Is they
one with
use like this
autotune
weird
on it?
auto tune. Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
weird auto-tune one. And the like beat like the beat almost saves it, but at the same time it's also super weird because just it just has like random kicks all over the place. It just sounds like pots and pans. Doom does good rapping wise, but I think it's a miss other than that. The
If you
features are
pretend the
okay as
auto
well.
tune is Kanye, it sounds good, bro.
Bro, we needed Kanye Doom.
A
So
Kanye
sad.
Doom.
Yeah,
MF
Kanye and
West.
Doom.
MF
Wait, what did
Jeffree
you rate it?
Star.
I think I gave it a 9.
I gave it 8.8.
Yeah, pretty solid.
Pretty solid.
Next we have Neruvian Doom. And this one is similar to Take Me to Your Leader, where Doom kind of takes kind of a more backseat approach and doesn't rap on every song. It kind of gives the limelight to other people, which this other person is Bishop Naru, who he's okay. He's not great, but he's okay. He holds his own at least.
Yeah. Doom kinda outshines him, which is kinda sad because Doom is more the producer on this album. But
Hmm.
yeah, it's not a bad album, but when you're comparing it to the rest of his discography, it's definitely on the lower side.
Yeah, I agree, but I do think this album's pretty overhated. I always like I saw the Rate Your Music score on this and it's like a 2.7.
Yeah.
I do not agree with that. I think that's a bit too low. I think every beat on this album is good, so there's at least that, and there's some actually good songs. I like Disastrous and Om a lot, especially Disastrous. It's the reunion of Madlib and MF Doom, Mad Villain, so that's pretty cool. And Bishop Naru cannot sing, but that's okay. Other than that, I think if you listen to every single album except this, I'll check it out. But other than that, if you're trying to get into MF Doom, this is probably not the project to start with. I'd start with probably Mad Villainy or Operation Doomsday or Food.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to say?
Definitely wouldn't start with this. Start with Operation Doomsday.
Yeah, maybe just go in chronological order, honestly.
Yeah, that's true.
Wait, what did we score it? I gave it
Oh yeah.
7.7.
I gave Neruvian Doom 7.9. Next up we have Czarface meets Metalface. This album is just like it just sounds evil and sinister. With like the very first song, it just starts off the vibe and it
Yeah, the first song.
yeah,
I love that shit, man.
yeah. Lyrically, I feel like they kind of like challenge each other more. I know I keep forgetting Czarface is a group, bro.
Yeah, it's like Inspect a Deck and someone else.
Yeah, but the collaboration challenges Doom more on his lyrics, I feel like, and definitely makes a great outcome.
Yeah, I didn't feel this album as much as you did, honestly. I like Metal with Metal as the opening track. The production on that is crazy and it just sounds badass. It's probably one of Doom's more like menacing songs. It reminds me of Beef Rap almost, just because of how like it just sounds so villainous. But honestly, I think Doom just kind of seems like he was half-assing this for the most part. It's not like he was bad, it's just like I feel like since he wasn't producing it as much and he wasn't in charge, he was just like phoning in some verses for a quick buck. But it's still good. MF Doom still does great on it, and there is some really good and memorable songs on this. But in my opinion, there is also a lot of forgettable and kind of mid songs. But maybe I'm just kind of hating and it needs to grow on me, but we'll see. Another positive I have to say about this is it does have good atmosphere.
Yeah,
Like it sounds like the interludes are really good. It's like where he like like the cartoon scene where he meets MF Doom and he's like, "Hey, you need a villain," or what? I mean, like he's like, "I need a villain" or something, and then like that's when they start fighting or whatever. That's pretty sick.
yeah, like every hero needs a villain or something.
Yeah, that's what he says.
Yeah. What'd you score this one at?
7.
8.2 out of 10.
Yeah, that's probably is that our second biggest disagreement? A 1.2 difference, and then Vaudeville Villain was a um. I can't do. It's more than 1.2. It's a 1.7. So we almost disagreed by a full 2 points on Vaudeville Villain. So we went through every album that we covered on our post. I know there's more like his JJ Doom stuff, and like I know that MF Grimm like raps over some of the um special herbs, but Other than those, that's basically the most of his like rapping discography. He has a lot of instrumental albums. If you like these, I would check those out. They're pretty cool. But other than that, that kind of wraps it up. Man, I'm gonna miss MF Doom. One of the best rappers. He inspired some of my favorite rappers as well. It's gonna hurt to miss him. I mean, it's gonna hurt to see him go from the rap game.
Yeah,
I know he didn't really put out much stuff since like 2018, but still, his legacy will live on. He is one of the most influential and one of the most creative rappers that ever touched the mic.
your favorite rapper's favorite rapper.
Yep, Drake. He was Drake's favorite rapper. Just let that sink in.
Did
A
you
damn
hear that
Canadian
Drake
with
song where he
aggressive
rapped
voice.
over the accordion
Yeah,
beat?
over accordion. That sounds so funny.
Yeah, if you haven't listened to it, that's one of the best songs of the decade. I highly
Yep,
recommend it.
Drake over accordion beat.
Yeah.
Bro, the cover art for that is literally so funny.
Yeah.
Drake looks like Urkel from that one show.
Bro, I think when I first heard that, I thought it was like fan made. Like I didn't believe it at
It's
first.
literally real.
I know.
I'm gonna look it up. Bro, why didn't Drake ever uh collaborate with Doom?
He wasn't allowed.
Yeah, I don't think Doom probably
Doom
liked
wouldn't
him that
clear that,
much.
bro.
Bro, I looked up Drake on accordion. I like literally see this dude that looks like Drake and he's playing an accordion. Okay, I think that's enough for today's
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
Have a great day, y'all. I hope this was better than the first episode. We'll see.
Yeah, leave
See you guys.
any criticism in the comments, anything you want to tell us.
Yeah, I still gotta fix my mic.
Yeah, we're probably gonna get new better mics soon, and the podcast is gonna be, it's on its way to becoming the best ever.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we'll be back next week, y'all.
See y'all.